All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashley Jones, and I serve as the coordinator of parent and family programs and the Center for Student Success here on campus. And we are here for our monthly Seymour Scoop. Every month in the academic year, we host this opportunity for families to hear from a resource office on campus so that you can learn more about the resources and the opportunities that are available to your student, as well as to you, and how you can help us encourage your student to use these resources. Today, I have with Ms. Alanna McDonald, who serves as the Assistant Director for Financial Aid. And she's going to meet with us for a little bit and talk with us about what financial aid is, the resources that they offer for students and families, and how you can utilize them this fall. It's just the third day of school. We're in a new semester and we're really excited. And we are jumpstarting the semester off on a good financial foot. And we're just thankful that you're here with us. So at this time, Ms. Alanna, if you will tell us a little bit about financial aid. What is the Office of Financial Aid?
Yes, thanks, Ashley. So basically, the Office of Financial Aid, we're here to help students and families navigate the financial aid application process. We understand it can be complicated at times, so that's what we're here for. And then understanding how that financial aid offer relates to paying for college. That's kind of our main priority, just to help students, families ease a little bit of that stress and that burden going into higher education, because there's a lot of moving parts.
Absolutely. I know that that was definitely something that I needed assistance with in the beginning of college and undergraduate careers, is knowing what the heck are these terms? I don't know what this means. I need some assistance in understanding and making sure that I'm doing it right. So we're grateful that your office does that and has those resources for students and families. So how does a student know if they're eligible for financial aid?
Yeah, so the first thing that we tell students and families is everything starts with that free application for federal student aid application, so that FAFSA application. Um, Basically, students go online to the studentaid.gov website and they create a account username and password if they don't have one already. They complete that application, have it sent to our school, and then we evaluate that application to see what we can award them. We always try to award the maximum amount that we possibly can for students, but unfortunately there are limits on some certain aid programs. So we do award the maximum amount that we can. And one thing to kind of keep in mind about the application process and knowing if you're eligible is that FAFSA application has to be redone every year. And so it is good for 1 year. So the fall semester, spring semester, and summer semester goes off of one FAFSA. And then the next year we turn around and do the whole process right over again.
Gotcha. So once a student has completed the FAFSA, who do they contact to check on their financial aid status?
Yes, so our office, definitely. So we are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, to answer any questions, whether you want to give us a call, send us an email, or come see us in person. You can always check on your status that way. And we also have gotten the notifications are available in the student SOAR account. So students can log into their SOAR account, get acquainted with that, and know if their awards are out there, if we need any additional information, if something's missing. We always try to communicate that through email on your SOAR account. So there should be lots of ways that you should be able to check on your status.
Wonderful. Well, one thing I've noticed is that working with students, in particular students that are in upperclassmen, but honestly, I've had students ask me, what does it mean to be independent? Or how does this affect my financial aid? And so I'm not an expert in that area, so I would definitely refer to you. What factors make a student independent, and what exactly does independent status mean?
Yeah, so I think the term independent gets thrown around in quite a few different ways. The FAFSA terminology of independent is a lot different than what you or I might think independent means. And so for FAFSA purposes, the main things that make a student independent, the most common, I should say, would be if a student is over the age of 24, if they have children, or if they're married. Those are kind of the most common things. A lot of times, and we completely understand this, students will come in and say, but my parents are not helping me with college. You know, they did not claim me on their taxes, different things like that. Unfortunately, the Department of Education and the FAFSA does not determine that is a qualification for independent status. And so we understand the frustration, but unfortunately, you know, there's regulations that we have to follow. And so we just try to help students navigate what can be best as a dependent student to help them the most as well.
Gotcha. So I know earlier you mentioned that it's really important for students to reapply for FAFSA every year. So what does that look like for their family's financial situation has changed since the most recent tax filing year? Can students have their information updated and their eligibility could potentially be reevaluated?
So yeah, there's a potential for that. There's so many different moving parts and variables when we're talking about tax information and the FAFSA and 1 year to the next. And so
Right.
we do have certain situations that do qualify for a reevaluation. And so we just tell students to contact our office and we can help them navigate if they are eligible or if it would not benefit them. So they can just contact us for more information about that.
Gotcha. So since we have parents and families watching, and I want to get to a term that I have been asked. So periodically in our office. And one of those meetings with students is through our success coaching. And during those sessions, we talk about a lot of different things. One of those things is financial wellness, financial literacy, and how students can pay for college. And many times they do rely on their families for assistance. And so I know that there are parent loans, parent plus loans. So what exactly are parent plus loans and how do they work?
Yes, so we have, just like you said, many students that unfortunately, even with a maximum Pell Grant, even with the maximum subsidized, unsubsidized loans we can offer them, it still just does not pay for the full cost of a semester when students are living on campus.
Right.
And so a lot of times that next step after the FAFSA aid that we've awarded them is the parent actually, for dependent students only, can apply for a Parent Plus loan on the studentaid.gov website. And basically what that loan is it's a loan through the Department of Education. So it is a federal loan as well, but it's going to be a loan underneath the parent's name, not the student's. And so the catch there is when the parent is applying for that loan, because it is a parent loan, they have to be logged into their FSAID user account and not the students.
Okay.
Because it is a parent loan. So that's kind of a lot of times where students get caught up is they're thinking, well, it's funds for my education, it should be under me. Well,
right.
We understand that, but technically because it's a parent loan, they have to be logged in with their information. And then basically that parent loan can just cover unmet financial aid that the student has expenses still for the fall semester, spring semester, depending on how the parent wants to apply for it. If the parent is approved, we can process that Parent Plus loan because that is credit-based. So if they're approved, we can process it. If for some reason the Parent Plus loan is denied, we can then turn around and offer the student an additional unsubsidized loan. So that's the one positive thing about that process is either way, there's going to be some funding available, whether if it's an approval with the Parent Plus or a denial with the additional unsubsidized loan.
Right, that's wonderful. What does the repayment process look like for Parent Plus loans?
Yes, so the repayment process is going to be dependent on what the parent selects in the application process. So there's a few different options when they're applying. They can choose repayment immediately. They can choose repayment, in like a 6-month grace period, or when the student is no longer enrolled. But just keep in mind that the interest will accrue on that loan no matter what repayment terms is selected. interest will start accruing as soon as that loan is processed.
Okay. And I know that when we talk about repayment and talk about interest, something that I just thought about, which I think is really important for families to know if they don't know, is the difference between sub and unsubsidized loans. Could you clarify for us the difference between those two?
Yep, definitely. So both loans are determined based off of eligibility on the FAFSA. The only difference between the two is that the subsidized loan, that's the one that we consider the good loan of the two. So the subsidized loan will not accrue interest while the student is in school. The unsubsidized loan will accrue interest while the student's in school. Now, they're not required to pay on that loan or the interest, but just know that the interest will be accruing, and as soon as repayment does begin, that loan amount is going to be more because of the accrued interest on the unsubsidized rather than the subsidized.
Right, right. Thank you. Thank you for that. And I know that some students, we talk about FAFSA, we talk about, loans, subsidized, unsubsidized, parent plus loans, and then we know work study. And I know that many students hear about work study, they want work study jobs. What is the whole story behind work study? What exactly is work study and how does it work? Is that what pays for students' education? Is that a job and they get their own money? And then what makes students eligible for work study?
Yep, so the federal work study program is a program based off of the FAFSA. So USM has a limited amount of funding for federal work study every year. So I'm going to kind of sidestep just a second and say because of that, it is very important that the FAFSA is done early every year, because there are certain programs like the federal work study that are awarded on a first come, first serve basis.
Right.
And so if you don't do your FAFSA early, you could miss out on some of those funds that are limited amount of funding for the university. So just a caveat to that. Now, what is the federal work study program? Basically, it is we award students funds that they can then earn throughout the semester by working on campus through a campus employment position. The one thing to keep in mind about federal work study is that because those funds are earned on a bi-weekly paycheck model, those funds cannot be used to help cover initial costs of tuition fees, room and board at the beginning of the semester. They are to help supplement those educational expenses throughout the semester by working on campus. And so the work study funds, great program, help students earn, some experience while they're going to school.
Right.
Flexible with class schedules because they are student first. And so that's the benefits of the federal work study program. And so eligibility for that. Eligibility is dependent on FAFSA information. So we will determine if students are eligible when they've submitted their FAFSA. If there's funds available, we would get them awarded to them, and then they would search for a job on the Handshake website and try to practice those interview skills along with everything else.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think that students and families certainly can take advantage of that information. In our office, we are fortunate to be able to hire work study students each academic year, and we have 4 students working in our office this year that were work study eligible. And we are so happy to have them. We think that they've been able to grow and learn as professionals in our office that will certainly help them post-graduation. And all of what Alanna mentioned is completely true. It is a flexible position. We understand that they are students first. And so we want them to make sure that they're focusing on their academics and they have plenty of time to study, to get their homework done, to prepare for projects and exams, but then also be able to learn how to be a professional, learn those secretarial administrative skills in our office, so that when they graduate and go out into the world of work, they are more prepared as full-time professionals. And so it's a great opportunity, and it's so important to get that FAFSA completed early to increase those chances and opportunities to be work study eligible. So all of this information is so helpful for students as well as families. What role do you believe that families and parents play in their students' understanding and responsibility of financial aid?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because I know we've said this a couple times because of how complicated financial aid can be.
Mhm.
Um, and some of these students, this, if they're freshmen, this is their first time trying to navigate this whole process. We try to give them as much information as we possibly can, but we all know sometimes information overload, it can be a lot,
Right.
we totally understand that. So I guess the bit of information that I would give students, families, parents, is look at the information, and if you don't understand it, contact us. That's exactly what we're here for. And we don't expect everybody to know everything. I mean, that's why we put the information out there, but then our contact information is right next to it. And if we can give parents, families, students the information they need right away as they're an incoming freshman or a transfer student, we hope that that can develop over their 2 or 3, 4 years here. And when they're in their sophomore year or junior year, they know how to do this. They know the process. They know how to navigate SOAR. They know how our office functions.
Mhm.
And so that stressful burden won't be there when they're getting into their last stressful years of college. So
Right.
trying to balance the transition to college right away to learn all those skills needed so that those are there to help them be successful in the future. Um, and I guess, the responsibility aspect of it, we are here to help as much as we can, but it is the student's responsibility to monitor their SOAR account and ask if they have
Right.
questions. Um, and it's okay to call us and say, I don't know what questions I need to be asking. And that's fine too. We can start from the beginning and navigate through that whole process, and then, kind of start at that point and say, okay, now after we went over that, what are still some of the questions you have or things that are unclear? Um, and so just not being afraid to reach out to us for help, I think, is the main thing.
Thank you. Absolutely. And thinking about reaching out for help, if you will, reiterate where you guys are located on campus and how students can make an appointment or stop in to come see you, your office hours, emails, how can students reach you and make those opportunities available to get the help that they need?
Yeah, definitely. So our office is located in Kennard Washington Hall on the first level. Um, because of the pandemic and COVID and everything, we are not taking like appointments. However, we do have staff available every day from 8 to 5 that will be able to help students if they just want to walk in. We're just not meeting with people face to face, just for both their safety and ours.
Yes.
But we've never been able to not be able to figure out students' issues when they come in. So that's our face-to-face. And then we have counselors answering our phones every day from 8 to 5. So that phone number is 601-266-4774. And then you can always reach us by email as well, financial.aid@usm.edu. And when we're talking about email, we have lots of different ways that students can get us documents. You can always email us if we need anything. You can email us documents. You can fax them, mail them, drop it by our office. Whatever is really easiest for students, we will accept them whatever way. And I'm just going to put one more little thing in there about the FAFSA. This is crazy to think, but for the 22-23 year, so we're talking fall 22,
Wow.
spring 23 semester, the FAFSA opens in less than 6 weeks, October 1st of 21. So we are just starting to kick out this semester, but keep in the back of our heads that in like 6 weeks, you can go and do your FAFSA for next year.
That is amazing. I knew that it was soon. I thought it was October, and I'm like, yep, it's coming up very quickly. And we're day 3 of the fall semester, but it is already time to go ahead and get your FAFSA ready for the next academic year.
Yes, yep, and
That's how things work.
that FAFSA will go off of 2020 tax information.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Alanna. I hope that all this information has been extremely helpful to you as you and your student navigate finances during this new academic year. We do hope that their fall semester is off to a great start. We do want you to utilize financial aid as well as our office as a resource as your student is transitioning either into their first semester at Southern Miss or their third or fourth. We know that you still need assistance from us until graduation and maybe even after. And we want you to know that we're here for you for any assistance. As always, you can contact the Center for Student Success, which is where Parent and Family Programs is housed, for any assistance that you or your student might need. As Southern Miss families, you are automatically a part of the Parent and Family Association. It is a free membership, and that free membership allows you to receive monthly e-newsletters. And our first official newsletter of the semester will be distributed via our email next month in September, which is next week, which is crazy to believe. But that newsletter will provide you with information of important dates, drop dates, financial dates, things that your student needs to know about on campus, as well as opportunities for them to get involved on campus and in the Hattiesburg community. We do want you to also be mindful that Parent and Family Weekend is coming up in November. So go ahead and put that on your schedule. It's November 5th and 6th. We invite families to come back to Hattiesburg, spend time with their student at a tailgate, and then go to a football game with their student. There will be additional programming on Friday as well, which is November 5th. So if you're able to take off work a day early, feel free to come down to Hattiesburg and do some on-campus activities in Hattiesburg with your student. As always, you can reach out to our office via our parent and family email, which is parentsandfamily@usm.edu. And that is parents with an S, parents and family at usm.edu, or you can contact me directly at 601-266-4373. We are also open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are centrally located in a student-friendly space. We're located in Cook Library on the first floor at the very back of the building. I always tell students that whenever they come to Cook Library to get their Starbucks fix, not to stop at Starbucks, but to keep going all the way to the back of the building, and they will run right into our office. It's a very cozy spot. We have a sofa and lounge chair right outside of our office. So we want students to know exactly where to find us, and they can certainly come and visit with myself or any representative in the Center for Student Success. We do also have Success Week that is coming up, and we want students to certainly get involved with Success Week. This is an opportunity for students to learn more about our office, about ways that they can be successful during their fall semester. Those dates and activities are available on our webpage, and that's the Center for Student Success, and they can find that on the USM's website. Again, thank you so much for joining us for the Seymour Scoop this month. We will be back at noon on a Wednesday next month in September as we meet with another resource office, and we hope that you'll join us then again. This content will be saved on the Parent and Family Facebook page, so certainly feel free to review it. If you weren't able to catch us at the very beginning, you can go back and rewind, and then you can also send it to your student or another family that you know needs to know this type of information as well. The financial aids contact information, website, their contact email, phone number will also be in the text section of this video. So make sure that you have it available so that you can reach out to them should you need any assistance. Thank you again for joining us for our August Seymour Scoop. Thank you so much, Ms. Alanna McDonald, for being with us and providing such helpful information. And we hope to have you again with us soon. As always at Southern Miss, it's Southern Miss to the top. Have a great day, everyone.